Now on CoastTV News.
Loggerhead sea turtle rescue in Ocean City. What boaters should look out for. Bay Bridge backups. How many miles officials say the backup stretched this afternoon. Hundreds of crosses to send one important message.
Well, it was another gorgeous day on Delmarva. Some of us saw some showers. Many of us are going to see showers as we go into our Monday. I'm tracking some tropical downpours and the threat of severe weather. We'll break it all down in my full forecast in minutes.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
People coming together to remember the lives lost due to mental health. Good evening, I'm Brandon Ferguson. Welcome to CoastTV News at 6. We begin tonight with an end to a 30-day mission to spread awareness for veteran suicides. What started with 22 crosses in June ended up with 660 of them along Route 1 in Lewis. This is an effort to spread awareness for veteran suicides. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zapay shows us what people did on the last day to honor the lives we've lost.
Lord, have mercy on the soul of Sergeant Brian Milling. Amen.
A prayer for every cross. That was done by Chuck Augustine from the Delaware Knights of Columbus, as well as many others, paying respects to those veterans who lost their battle with mental health.
There are approximately 22 veterans a day across the United States who commit suicide.
The nonprofit organization 22 a Day goes to different locations around the country, placing 22 crosses a day for a whole month, leading to over 600 crosses in the end.
After 30 days of seeing the field grow every time they drive by on their way to work or school or whatever, that's enough to make an impact.
St. Jude the Apostle Church in Lewis allowed 22 a Day to use their land for the display. And 22 a Day Secretary John Luker says the community reaction was deeply moving.
The feedback that we've gotten from people who've stopped here has been amazing.
For 30 days, cars driving by saw crosses being placed down in the day and lit up at night. But on Sunday, the closing ceremony began, which brought people from around the area listening to various speakers, children putting down 22 American flags next to the crosses, and everyone singing along as one. And while some crosses remain blank, others have names written on them by people who knew a veteran who took their own life. Luker says the crosses will go with them around the country.
When we saw the reactions that the people had, especially when they saw crosses with names on them, and it was no longer a statistic, but a matter of life and death for so many people, being able to contribute to saving lives is what keeps us going.
According to Luker, they plan to come back to Delaware next year in Millsboro to further spread awareness on veteran suicides. I'm Kevin Zapay in Lewis, CoastTV News.
A loggerhead sea turtle is recovering after being rescued yesterday off of the coast of Ocean City. The animal was spotted struggling to swim. Dive teams, along with Towboat US and the National Aquarium, pulled the turtle to safety. Covered in barnacles and unable to dive, the turtle was then transported to Baltimore for treatment. Officials urge boaters to stay alert for marine life and to report stranded animals to the National Aquarium's 24-hour hotline. And on your screen now is Route 50 westbound about an hour ago, which, as you can see, is backed up before the Bay Bridge. Delays hit up to as much as 16 miles prior to the bridge, according to the Maryland Transportation Authority. And we now take a live look into a rainy Dover and bring in our first alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobuono. Good Sunday evening to you, Chris.
Good Sunday evening to you, Brandon. Yeah, we're seeing some showers across parts of Delmarva. Everybody has not seen the shower activity. One place that hasn't, the coast. It's been a gorgeous weekend on the coast, whether you're on the water or on land. Just about a perfect weekend to do anything. Right now we're at 80 degrees in Ocean City. You can see temperature 79 in Rehoboth. We're at 80 in Lewis. A bit milder back inland, 86 in Georgetown, 78 there in Milford, where we had a shower, but those dew points, we talked about it last night, beginning to creep up, and those humidity levels are going to be skyrocketing through the night. See a few showers pushing through Kent County and the eastern shore. These are all lifting northward. It should be primarily a dry evening, but there you see what was Tropical Storm Chantel, now a tropical depression, made landfall just south of Myrtle Beach early this morning, and we're going to tap into some of this remnants come tomorrow. So a dry, muggy, mild evening with temperatures only falling into the mid to upper 70s. Now tomorrow we get those remnants of Chantal. Tropical-like downpours could be heavy at times where they do hit. We stay steamy and sweltering into Tuesday. Heat indices over 100, and then we talk about the threat of some strong to severe storms by Tuesday afternoon through Tuesday evening. And overall, it's going to be a rather unsettled week, dodging the showers and storms. We'll break down the latest timing in that full 7-day forecast. Brandon.
Thank you, Chris. The Ocean City Beach Patrol is working to inform people about its new tent and canopy rules as the beaches fill up with tourists. No fines are being handed out while the Beach Patrol takes the time to inform thousands of people about the new rules, which includes no anchors or stakes extending beyond the cover. Nothing bigger than 10 by 10 feet, and you're not allowed to leave tents unattended before 10 a.m., in part in an effort to stop people from taking a spot before they even get to the beach. But once they do start handing out fines and violations, they could range between $100 to $1,000. Trash is piling up in parts of Philadelphia as the sanitation strike enters its 5th day. Sanitation workers are among thousands of union members on strike, and trash is now visible on sidewalks, businesses, and homes. After hours of talks, both sides walked away without a deal. Mayor Sherelle Parker says the city is offering its best deal in history, a 13% raise over 4 years. However, the union is seeking a 20% raise over the same period. Negotiations are still ongoing.
Well, we're tracking the threat of scattered downpours for our Monday. Very muggy over the next few days. And then we are tracking some triple-digit heat indices into Tuesday that could end with a threat of severe storms. We'll break it all down in my full forecast in minutes.
Benjamin Netanyahu to visit the White House tomorrow. What is expected to be talked about in D.C. We have that story next here on Coast TV News at 6.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be at the White House tomorrow. President Trump says he plans to talk with Netanyahu about ending the war in Gaza. Trump says that he will be, quote, very firm with him in discussions. The president has made clear he wants to see the war in Gaza conclude and the hostages held by Hamas released. He said he also believes Netanyahu wants to end the 20-month conflict and that he thinks there will be a deal next week. Trump has said that these discussions will also include the U.S. strikes on Iran. Israel says its negotiators are on their way to Qatar today for a new round of ceasefire talks with Hamas. The militant group said it's responded positively to the U.S. truce proposal on Friday. A senior source in Hamas says that a new round of indirect negotiations is set to begin as early as tomorrow. Despite the prospect of a truce, officials in Gaza say more than 50 people were killed by Israeli strikes and gunfire yesterday. The temporary pause on tariffs is set to expire next week on July 9th, which could increase costs for both businesses and consumers. President Trump says it's been harder than expected to make trade deals with foreign governments, and although the Trump administration recently indicated the deadline may be pushed back. Elon Musk said yesterday he is forming a new political party. The tech billionaire threatened to create the America Party if Congress passed and President Donald Trump signed into law his signature domestic policy bill. Musk once again criticized the legislation, saying the new law will bankrupt the country with wasteful spending. Musk said his new party will give the people back their freedom since he believes the country is currently operating as a one-party system and not as a democracy. It is unclear what steps Musk must take to form this political party.
Well, all good things must come to an end. Our beautiful stretch of weather, we have unsettled conditions breaking out tomorrow and lasting right through the week. I'll have the latest timing on when you can expect some downpours in that full 7-day forecast when Coast TV News at 6 continues. Well, it has been as good as it can get along the coast here this weekend. We've had bright blue skies, warm ocean, low risk of rip currents, but you could feel that humidity is on the rise. We're at 80 degrees in Ocean City, the dew point's 75, and unfortunately we're going to be in the 70s as far as those dew points are concerned for at least the next week. You can see we're at 79 in Rehoboth, 85 in Willards, 84 Milton, 85 Laurel, and 80 in Bridgeville. As I mentioned, those dew points, we were in the 60s yesterday. Not no more. We're in the mid-70s at this point, and you can see over the next really 5 to 7 days, we're in that very humid to miserable range. We're going to have a really deep tropical-like air mass set up over the region. Now, we had a few stray showers pass through Dorchester County as well as the eastern shore. Nothing along the Delaware or Maryland coast on the Atlantic side, but we have this big area of low pressure. That is what's left of Chantal that made landfall just to the south of Myrtle Beach early this morning. This is a tropical depression now and will continue to weaken, but the center of this storm is going to kind of make a beeline right towards the peninsula, so we're going to see some moisture push into our area come tomorrow, and we're going to see a lot of moisture, in fact, most of the week as we deal with a stalled out frontal boundary by Wednesday. 76 tonight, so quite warm and muggy. Isolated shower and some patchy fog. Tomorrow we see those scattered showers break out after around lunchtime and then continue through dinner. So where they do pop up, they're going to dump a lot of rain in a short period of time. So we could see some localized flash flooding as those storms move through by around dinner time, and then we'll see another impulse early Tuesday morning. By Tuesday, it is steamy. We're talking about feeling like 103 in Millsboro, 103 in Selbyville. We're going to be talking about those heat indices anywhere from 100 to 106 ahead of a cold front that's going to bring a threat for some severe storms. We have the Storm Prediction Center with that 1 out of 5 marginal risk for the entire peninsula. Downburst, damaging winds, primary threat, as well as localized flash flooding. A lot of moisture in the atmosphere for these storms to tap into. It is in the mid-90s ahead of this front Tuesday afternoon, and there you see those storms firing off late afternoon into the early evening, pushing towards the coast by around 7:30. Again, the primary threat there would be a damaging wind threat, and then that front stalls out, and we continue to see heavy downpours and thunderstorms through the wee hours of Wednesday morning, and then that front's going to kind of stall out. Now, as far as rainfall totals go, between tomorrow and Wednesday, we're looking at about 1 to 2 inches, but again, localized areas could see some heavier amounts where we do see those heavier storms set up. There's the stalled out front Wednesday through Friday, so impulses of low pressure riding along that front, giving us on and off shower and storm threats Wednesday through Thursday. So a very wet stretch as we push through the end of the week. We're at 76 overnight with the isolated shower, 88 with those tropical downpours, 95 by Tuesday, a steamy day with that evening severe storm threat. So we keep the shower and storm threat in play really through the next weekend with temperatures holding in the mid to upper 80s.
The death toll increases in the destructive Texas floods, how the president and local officials are getting involved. Right now, rescue crews are desperately searching for survivors after Texas was pummeled by catastrophic flooding. While much of the water has receded, several areas have been decimated. At least 67 people have died, including 21 children, and emergency responders fear that number will rise. Federal and local emergency responders are working around the clock to search for survivors. And in response to the deadly Texas floods, President Donald Trump announced that he signed a major disaster declaration for Kerr County in Texas. Coming up, a new ruling from a FDA official on the use of the COVID vaccine. We have that and more health news next. In newly released documents shows a top Food and Drug Administration vaccine official overrode agency experts in May to recommend against the broad use of 2 COVID-19 vaccines. Vinay Prasad is the director of the agency's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research. In 2 memos, he disagreed with agency experts' conclusions about the vaccine's safety. Prasad also disagreed about the ongoing threat of the virus, particularly for young and healthy people. His thoughts about the coronavirus vaccine eligibility are in line with the Trump administration's. A warning for anyone with Oscar Mayer turkey bacon in the fridge or freezer. Kraft Heinz is recalling nearly 368,000 pounds of it due to possible contamination. The recalled turkey bacon was produced between April 24th and June 11th at a plant in South Carolina. It may be contaminated with listeria, which can cause serious illness. So far, no illnesses have been reported. And we now take a live look outside into a sunny Ocean City, and after the break here on Coast TV News at 6, we have a final check on your forecast. Each Friday, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV. It's full of features, cool things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for our Feel Good Friday newsletter at coasttv.com/signup. And coming up tomorrow in prime time, Survival Mode, the new series from the producers of Dateline. Each week, viewers will be given an inside look at some of the most devastating disasters and those who lived through it. The debut episode focuses on the deadliest U.S. tornado to strike in 60 years. The Category 5 tornado that hit Joplin, Missouri in 2011. That's tomorrow at 10 p.m. on Coast TV.
Sure to be tuned in for that one. We had a few showers pass through Dover just a short time ago, 77. We had a few showers across the eastern shore as well. No showers this evening, but very warm and mild. Muggy, as I should say, with temperatures only falling in the mid to upper 70s. There's those showers that pass through the eastern shore. We've been pretty dry along the coast. You get your forecast anytime by dialing the First Alert Weather phone. Your 10-day forecast shows those tropical downpours, the remnants of Chantal pushing over the tri-state tomorrow, and we are going to be dealing with a steamy Tuesday, 95, feeling like a 100 to 105 at times. We are watching the threat for some strong to severe storms by the late afternoon, early evening, and that front is going to kind of stall out over the area and produce quite a bit of unsettled weather, really Wednesday through next weekend.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Be sure to join us tonight at 11. Until then, have a great night.